1920 by 1080, or are you on wide?
I think I'm on 1920. No?
Looks like it.
Yeah. All right. Just do a quick ping in both in Telegram and in Discord because I think the bridge bot broke, so people
Uh,
can't see what's happening. Yeah.
Marcus already did that about 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Cool. All right. So welcome to the meeting, everybody. Oh well, you already started recording.
I've started recording.
Okay. Great. Okay, great. So, hi everyone, and this is well, I don't know what number of the meeting is this, but this is the first meeting as Firo. Thanks to everyone who came, and I guess the opportunity. I think this meeting is supposed to be an opportunity to give updates on the more personal level rather than just a text updates, and at the same time to get feedback and engage the community of like what we should be doing, what should our direction be, and anything we can do better. So, so there again, we always have the same rules of meeting. Always be polite. We are not tolerant of like bad language, bad behavior. Of course, criticism is welcome as long as done in a polite manner. We generally are going to follow the agenda. There will be a chance to bring up additional stuff at the end, so don't worry. Turn off the mic when not talking, and once we are presenting something, do not interrupt until we open up for questions. And there will be always a session for questions after we've covered a particular point. And because in the respect of time, we aim to be concise and to the point with questions and discussion. So try not to ramble and stuff like that. Okay, great. So first of all, the first thing is that this is the rough agenda. We're going to talk about the rebranding. We're going to talk about the involvement of our community. We're going to talk about our development updates, research, potential market making, and also some miscellaneous stuff that has happened. So yeah, does anyone have anything else to add to this list that they wish to discuss? Please, you can type, you can mention it right now. Please let us know. I'll wait for a couple of seconds. Okay, is everyone all right with the agenda? Looks like Aiko is typing. Yeah, if it's possible, we are covering Lelantis in the development update. It's right there. Okay. Oh, what features it will bring? Okay, I'll see what I can do on that. I mean, we actually have later on. Maybe I can screen share a bit of what it will do, but maybe yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. So okay, we have completed a rebranding from Zcoin to Firo. Everything on our side is more or less changed. I think the only thing kind of remaining on our end is some of the the like Electrum wallet, and there's also an Electron wallet that we need to complete the rebranding for. That's almost done. Exchanges have more. I think most of them have at least changed the Firo with the new name and the new logo. Tickers have changed for Bittrex, Warpy, Digifinex, and a couple of others. And I'm sure everyone is asking about Binance, and we spoke to Binance, and they said that they would do it, but then they have to wait for their development pipeline to free up. They haven't given us an exact time frame for that, and we're not paying anything for this, so I will continue to follow up on that, and we will keep you posted as the thing, and I'll keep on pushing them. It would also help a lot if like people on the community open support tickets, or ping them on Twitter to say like, hey, we want to do the Firo ticker change. Be respectful. They do have a lot of work on their plates. So I think the most important one would be Binance, because a lot of other apps rely on the Binance ticker to draw their information. So, for example, Blockfolio, Minpon, and a couple of others, they all take the ticker from Binance, it being the largest exchange that has Firo. So, it would help really to put some, mild pressure on them, or at least to show that the community is behind the update. Our wallets are a bit behind. We have informed all the major wallet providers. I guess the main ones would be Edge and Koinomi. Um, the wallets, Edge said that they would update in about 2 weeks with their next upcoming update. Koinomi said they were aware of the update. They haven't given us an exact time. We will follow up on that. And a couple of others are also rebranding. I think Zelle has also said they will do the rebrand in their next update as well. So this isn't an issue as well. Ecosystem players more or less have updated all nodes. The biggest, I think, masternode provider would be changing. They've been really busy with the Ethereum 2 staking. So that's kind of the backlog them. And I guess the timing is a bit unfortunate when everyone's like preparing for the Ethereum 2 updates as well. So should be done in the next couple of weeks. And I think there has been some criticism to say that why hasn't everyone changed at the same time. I'm actually open to suggestions. I'm really not sure what we could have done differently. Just to give some sort of backstory, some of the exchanges actually, although we informed them 1 month in advance, and we have been posting updates and reminding them about the update, even like right on the day itself, or even like 1 or 2 days before, and they had said like, yeah, we're going to change it, no problems. Right on the day itself, some of them said they couldn't do it on that day. Huobi said like they had to delay by 1 or 2 days. Binance was a bit of a tricky situation, because they had previously said that they would change the name and ticker, no issues. No, sorry, the name and the logo first, and then the ticker later. And after that, when we asked them on the day itself, like, hey, are you guys going to change the logo and the name? They said no, they would prefer to change it together with the ticker. And given that they didn't give us an exact time frame as to when they'll be changing the ticker, that would have been quite bad, because that means we will be stuck with Zcoin for, I don't know, like an indeterminate period of time. And this was a real big shock to us, because that came on the day itself, on the 30th itself. So I really had to put pressure on them and say, at the very least, change the name and and the logo. And the funny thing was, they changed the name and then said that maybe we'll keep the old logo. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And they said they'll discuss with their team, and they finally changed the logo. But I just wanted to give you a bit of insight as to how much we have tried to get this right, but a lot of stuff that are beyond our control happen. For example, with Warpy as well, they said they were all okay, and then the next thing on the day itself, they're like, we have to delay 1 or 2 days. So I hope everyone understands that it was not intentional to have all the different people updating at different times. But I just wanted to let you know. Um and yeah, so I guess right now I'm open to any questions regarding this, and what we could have done better perhaps, and yeah, I think that I'll wait for a couple of seconds to listen to anyone who wants to comment on this.
Aiko is typing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Rasik's mic's broken.
Not broken. I'm just lazy. Yeah, I was just gonna say that I'm part of the problem. Zcoin Tipbot is gonna become Firo Tipbot once I have my anime character ready for it. I'm uh I'm pretty lazy in regards to that, so yeah.
I think it's more of like with a we have to realize that yeah, we're not entirely a small coin, but we are not like, I mean, even Bitcoin Cash had problems changing the ticker, right? And because this update is just like a rebranding update rather than like a total chain swap, which is like necessary, a lot of people have put it on a like a secondary importance, as opposed to something like a hard fork or something like that. And so I just wanted the people to realize that, well, could we have like wrote that in together with the Lelantis activation? I don't know, that felt like so many things happening at one go, and as it is, we were already overloaded. So I don't know, does anyone have anything else to add to that? If not, that we will move on to the next topic as well. Okay, I'm gonna move on because I haven't seen anyone type. So all right, this is something that is something that I really would like to see. I do think it's a continuing problem for Firo, is that there's a lot of reliance on the team to do like when marketing, when this, when that. And I would like to get everyone's opinion as to what the role of the core team should be, because everyone knows how much we get. It's around 15,000 Firo a month that pays all our salaries, all this infrastructure and other stuff. And although it sounds like a lot, like 60,000 US dollars, when you consider pay of programmers, and and a lot of other stuff, it's not a lot. Now, none of us in the team are marketing experts, and although we would have liked to have a whole marketing arm as well, the budget does not permit. So one of the things is that yes, we could increase the tax and take more, especially a lot of these other projects they have, allocated. They say, oh, 10% to the team, but like 30% for marketing, 30% for exchanges. We don't have those type of funds. We take a 15% of the development reward, and we get it trickled to us. It is not something that we have upfront to spend. So I hope people understand that we don't have like, a couple of $1 million sitting behind that we can use for stuff. So in a decentralized project, if you take a look at like Bitcoin and Monero or even Litecoin and a lot of stuff, it relies on the community promoting it. And that means like, retweeting stuff, tweeting about it, talking about it in an intelligent manner. And from what I've seen unfortunately, a lot of the stuff has been very focused around price. Like, oh yeah, this is going to go up to $100. Or this rebrand or the announcement, finance announcement is going to pump this price up. And although I'm okay with that, if that's the only thing, that's not sustainable, and it has led to consistent disappointment as people expect a pump because of a certain event, and then when it doesn't happen, we get blamed as the team. And I kind of want to like let people know like this is a community responsibility to educate people on what we do. And if you want the team to be involved, well, I mean, first of all, we aren't really equipped to do that, and furthermore, we would need a lot more funds. Right now I can see like 80% of our funding goes to development, and 20% goes to other miscellaneous like infrastructure, market making, or like PR and stuff like that. So we don't. People have to realize that if you don't want us to take a lot, that means it's a community responsibility to do it. The other thing is that there was, I don't know if most of you have been following, there was kind of like a breakup between certain segments of the Chinese community and us. And for those of you who didn't know, one of our seed investors, he's a Chinese person. His name is Tim, and for a very long time, he he controlled a lot of the, he had bought a lot of Firo. He bought a lot of, he had a founder's wallet as well. And I don't know how much I should go into it, but basically he had such a large amount of Firo that he also wanted to influence the direction of development. And one of those was the raising of the masternode collateral from 1,000 to 5,000 or 10,000 Firo. This was something that, well, of course, if you had seen, we had created a poll on the forums, let people vote on it. And obviously, most people were not happy with the idea of raising that masternode collateral. And the whole idea was to centralize holdings with a couple of whales so that they can support us, which is kind of against what a decentralized project is be. The other reasoning, which may have been more valid, was that too much of our supply is locked up in masternodes, and therefore the liquidity of the coin is low. Um, I think that's not necessarily the case. People will buy and sell, and there's no like lock-in period of that. And it is a double-edged sword. It makes people hold, but it also makes people not trade a lot. So that may have been a valid concern, but I don't think the right way to incentivize that was to increase the masternode collateral. Now, because of this very large disagreement, basically what happened was, this Chinese investor was really upset. Started letting go like huge amounts of Firo, or then it was Zcoin, and like in a couple of 100,000s. Several people within the community did do blockchain analysis on this, and it's absolutely confirmed. And then there was a FUD campaign launched against us to, well, more about me personally, saying that I have to take responsibility. The rebrand has failed. Everything has, the community is rejecting and the market is rejecting the rebrand. But if you take a look at what has happened, that's obviously just a single group of people wishing to, I don't know, hurt the project or to, save face. So that was a big blow to us, and really set the project back. But I do believe that the worst is over, and the idea is that rather than we're taking back, the control of the Chinese communities to engage them directly rather than leaving it to the seed investor, and hopefully we've actually gotten quite a good group of people. We've started working with O Daily, and we're having a lot more translations and articles pushed out. And yes, of course, some people are still in the old faction, but this is kind of being resolved. It's not going to be resolved 100%, but it is a gradual process, and I think we will have to regain the trust. And I think it's working at the moment. So, okay. And I guess the idea, okay, Alco says that yes, definitely is better to promote the coin use and the features it offers. And yep, we that is exactly what I want from the community. And I think speculators are something that will always be a part of the cryptocurrency market, but at the end it has to be backed by actual usage as well. when you talk about investors, although this has been an option to us, I mean, we still have a development reward that we could like, oh yeah, let's have an investor take part of the development reward and give us a bunch of money up front, and then they will help connect us and promote us and get us all these exchange listings. Now, I don't know how the community feels of that, because I think many people would be very keen on something like that. But we have just finished, our founders reward. There, nobody is getting a founders reward again, and now we have to go back and find like investors again. It really hurts the decentralized of the project. But at the same time, maybe we have to weigh like, okay, well, is decentralized really important at now, or can we accept like, okay, let's say if we can get some big VC to invest in us, give a part of our development reward and get some money up front right now. If they can deliver us right connections, then that's great. But it is also a marriage, and the first group of seed investors, some of them have helped us a lot, but some of them have been like total nightmares to deal with. So it is a decision that I would like the community to decide on. Of course, we can make that decision ourselves, but I think it is, um, yeah. I just want people's feedback on that. Should we be auctioning off part of our development reward at the cost of decentralization, at the cost of perhaps having a bad seed investor? Because obviously, all these investors want a discount, right? Uh, and they want to profit. So it's a catch 22 situation, and I would like people's opinions on this. So Rasik is saying don't auction dev reward, auction futures. Okay, I'm not sure how does that work. Rasik, do you want to?
Yeah, this is a completely half-baked idea, but essentially, if you have to do it, and I'm thinking that it's best to avoid seed investors or any
Right.
like, if at all possible. But if you have to go down that route, don't sell the immediate tokens. Sell a future in terms of the price of Firo in the future, or perhaps an option that you have the right to purchase Firo at a certain price a year from now.
Yeah, but you
Because
don't need us. I mean, the thing is that what we would do is that we're not giving them the Firo up front. We'd be like, okay, you're going to get this Firo reward over the next like 3 years or 4 years or so, right? That is kind of like but they have to like determine whether that's going to be worthwhile or not. Um, Maybe for 1 year, I don't know, because the amount of dev reward is not significant enough that they can't just buy it off the market. Like, okay, like if we get 15,000 a month, 15,000 times 12, it's not a huge amount of money. You can buy that amount off the market in 1 or 2 days. And although the liquidity does not look amazing, trust me, I have personally bought. And even if I okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys, I bought about 100K Firo off the market, and it barely moved the price. And that's how liquid it is. Like, it did not really move at all. So that, I think there's a lot of bots acting behind that are not placing the entire inventory in, and they're just like trickling in. And so the liquidity is there, it's just not showing on the books. But yeah, we actually don't need any seed investing funding anymore. We are actually doing okay, not amazing, but we have enough to pay all our developers with no issues, and we have a little bit of leeway. It's not a leeway that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally comfortable with, like, especially with the price so volatile. But we are not in a situation where we are in an emergency type of situation. I would say that we have about a 20% or 20+% leeway. One of the things that we need to consider is that, well, if you're going to go down the VC route, it should come with like well, Coinbase listing or something else like that. But I don't know. Personally, I'm not so sure even any VC can deliver something like that. I mean, Coinbase doesn't even list Monero, right? And what other exchanges do we need to be on? That's only OKX, maybe FTX. That's about it. I don't know why people are complaining about our exchange listings when we are actually quite okay. We just need to improve the existing amount of liquidity. So in terms of funding, we don't need it. It's more of whether we need the connections. That's the main thing. I'm seeing a lot in the chat that people are against it, and I'm personally am against it as well. But I just want to hear the community, see how they feel about it, right? Yeah, because we just got rid of them, not got rid, but like the founders reward has just ended. We are now moving into a new era. Do you want to kind of restart again and bring them in again? And that's why if you take a look at communities like Digibyte or even like Verge, right, they have power because their community is like, okay, I don't like these projects, but and technically they're really bad, but they have very, very powerful community members that are vocal. And that's what I mean about creating a community that is, vocal about pushing exchanges, delivering all of those. And that's what's really important. And I was actually thinking of giving a certain portion of our funds that will be available to distribute to people who promote this. And I don't know how people feel like, oh, is this like paid shield army and stuff like that? um every I can tell you that many people have told me like you need like an XRP like army, you need like a link type of army. And a lot of this, at least in the beginning, has to start with paying people to do it. It may not be natural, but I don't know. I really want these are very tough decisions that are on me, and I would prefer if the community wait on that. Sure. Okay, so I guess let me put up to the vote. Should we have a portion of the of our development reward, not a huge amount, maybe like a couple of thousand US dollars, to be used for incentivizing community to do stuff for us? And I don't really know what that would look like. And how that would happen, and I would need someone to champion it because I'm actually honestly quite loaded up right now, but would appreciate everyone's opinion on this.
So I'll be honest. I don't think that's gonna end well. Main problem I see is that whenever there's money entering into specifically for marketing in that kind of format,
Yep.
it turns into moon talk. I know that's ideal for price movements, but it's really bad for actual project growth. Uh, what I would recommend is that if there's any available budget remaining, for it to go into some sort of I guess blitz scaling partnership, a partnership that you can. It doesn't need to necessarily, and this is I know this sounds horrible, but it doesn't necessarily need to actually need Firo. Sorry, this rebrand is driving me crazy. It doesn't really need Firo on like it like for functionality, but for the purposes of actually getting some movement on chain. In
Right.
that there's something that's buying not only buying Firo but actually using it, right? So a perfect example of this, which would work better probably on another chain, is certification API or something along those lines. It doesn't really work that well on a privacy chain, but something that might work well on a privacy chain is we go in, yeah, take maybe go to a high cache traffic area and start like it probably costs about like $200-300 to print out some of those wallet cards. If you're familiar with what I'm talking about, it's like a scratch off. You have a private key inside of it.
Hmm.
Start selling those as pri- private cards or something like that, right? Get some
You're
actual
breaking up. I can't really hear
utilization.
you.
Sorry. Basically, just use utilization.
Hmm. But what kind of partnerships you're talking about, though? Like, is stuff like Travala interesting? You know, a lot of this stuff actually costs money as well. I think receipt probably dropped off. Okay, so first thing before we move on, I guess the first thing is that people are against getting VC funding. And that option should not be explored unless we really need it. And I think now we're talking about how communities can be incentivized to replicate that, right? And of course, Rasik is saying that, you know, it's like a pay your community to be engaged. That doesn't usually end well, but I would be interested to hear, well, you know, stuff like, you know, a lot of you guys are really passionate about the project. You know, you come into the meetings and stuff like that, and I don't blame you guys, because people that like a project kind of are like me. We're not very good at shilling. We are, you know, calm, and we are not the kind like, oh, Fira's gonna go up to $500 and change your life. You know, we're quite measured, and that doesn't really sell. So I'm not sure how other communities like Digibyte or Verge, and I mean, I kind of see how they do it, but actually Rasik has probably some experience with some of this shield stuff. I'll be interested to hear from other communities, or like, you know, especially how other people view this. But yeah, does anyone have anything to add to that? uh Yeah, you mean the sugar dating site? The sugar dating site is actually online right now.
But it's the perfect kind of sorry. What happened is that I accidentally clicked my power button while trying to click the space button.
Right.
So basically, what I'm thinking is that we get something that utilizes Firo even if it doesn't need to. So uh, a nice little example of this, which probably isn't a good fit, is for example a small card site, right? Like a small poker site. Integrate Firo into it, get some utilization. That's actually getting some movement and usage of the actual coin itself, even if in a perfect world it may not rarely require Firo, but it does provide sustained demand exactly.
Right. Yeah, we actually have several gambling sites that use Zcoin/Firo. I don't know. I have been personally not been promoting that. I just didn't want to create that. But if it was the community that says, "Hey, you can use it," and here, that's great, right? Do you think this is something like the community? Hey, you can gamble with Firo on this and this and this. Maybe that's not wrong. But
So
yeah.
it would need to be using Firo exclusively, right? So
Uh,
one of the problems is that if you have too many options, if I've like realistically speaking, if I have the choice between Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Firo for
mhm.
gambling on a site that is already getting my information, I'm going to use Bitcoin or Ethereum. If they're not asking for too much information, I'll use Firo to protect my privacy. But for the most part, I'm going to choose Bitcoin or Ethereum. It's easier to get. Now, if it's a Firo exclusive site, and honestly, the only reason I haven't set this up myself is one, you know, most of them not allowed to set up gambling sites, and two, I'm in the U.S. The SEC would crucify me. But if
Right.
someone wants to uh, kick it up, I can shoot them their GitHub repos to kick it up
The,
in
the,
like a
the,
couple of
the thing
hours.
is that I don't know, like, you know, even we set up something like this, if it was Firo only, I think this is kind of like self-defeating, right? Because they're like, oh, well, how many people hold Firo and how many of them would want to use it on the gambling side? That would be a very small subset of people. I don't know if like a gambling site is so unique enough that people would buy Firo just to use this gambling site, right? Usually it would be an
You're looking at it the
existing
wrong
gambling
way.
site. Oh, okay.
It's not existing users you're going to be looking at, right? It's going to be people that are now. I hate to be blunt about this, but these kind of poker sites, these kind of gambling sites are a way people use to actually kind of legally clean money, so to speak.
Okay, yeah.
In not on in for tax purposes. Hey, I lost $100,000 while gambling, or if money goes through a gambling site of any form, there's specific tax implications and things along those lines. Now, usually if you're using Bitcoin, that's a little bit more difficult in that the entire on-chain process is recorded, even when it enters the hot wallet, right? So it's a little bit more difficult there. But when you're using something like Firo, the I guess main value add there is that you can actually Sigma mint a lot of the history away, and
Yeah.
actually use it for the processes that most people use cryptocurrency poker sites for. Because let's be real, most people aren't using cryptocurrency poker sites for gambling. They're using it for the other, I guess, benefits that you get from using a crypto poker site.
I
And
wasn't aware of that.
if the IRS is listening, I don't do this myself. Please.
Okay, so Vayrak talked about something. D Holiday talked about growing the YouTube channel. I would love to know how to do that organically. Maybe talk about it more. I don't know. We actually really need a growth marketer or growth hacker. That is something that I would like a lot. I don't have any personal ideas on it. I'm a lawyer, not a marketer. Vayrag, we need some kind of debit card, the sports Firo. That actually has been an option that's on the plate, but a lot of these debit cards, first of all, they require like money, like maybe like 10 to 50,000 US dollars, and then you can get a debit card. And then how long does it last? We've seen so many debit cards that kind of disappear after a while. I think right now the only kind of crypto debit card was that has maybe like taken off would be crypto.com's one. And just to be very honest, like we actually almost got on crypto.com, but because certain of their partners were not comfortable of having privacy coins, a day before launch they terminated that uh, edition. So I mean, yeah, that
Isn't that
was what.
isn't that super ironic? Because Crypto.com's main card provider was Wirecard, the German company that was fintech company that was faking, like I think it was like
Yeah,
4 or 5 billion dollars worth of their
I
volume.
know, yeah, but I don't know. Like when they listed Dash, they got so much kickback, and I mean Dash isn't a privacy coin at all. But because of that, they were saying like we're not going to list any other privacy coins after that. So it is something that we have explored, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem the right way to approach it. I feel that if we focus on making our uh Firo as usable, easily and stuff like that, then and we can improve the liquidity, the utilization will automatically come because I do think that I mean like take a look at Monero, right? The utilization of their networks obviously because of real demand, not just speculation as well. And I think that's what we should be aiming for. Okay, let me see what else. The network speed dropped dramatically. Why? That is not what we're talking right now. I mean there has been a halving, there has been a price drop. So the hash rate is expected to drop after a halving of the reward. But yeah, that's all I will say on it right now. I'm personally not too concerned of that, especially if we have chain locks coming. But that's a nature of the halving when you are using GPUs, unlike in ASICs where you basically have like a new gen that is like 50%, 60% more efficient, and they are incentivized to keep the price at a certain level. So about the Elysium token, yes, actually, the Elysium tokenization layer and the stable coin. This is something that is also something that we've been talking about a lot, and the Elysium tokenization layer is actually almost ready, and I know I've been saying that for a couple of months, but because we got it ready for Sigma, then the Atlantis came, so we had to adapt it for the Atlantis. And the issue is not so much about the technology. Well, it's partly technology, but because Lelantis, we can have a like a Elysium tokenization with Lelantis, like in a month's time, no problem. Who is going to issue that stable coin? No one with like people say like, oh, why don't you partner with Tether or partner with USDC and stuff like that? They would never partner with someone like us unless like you have like Tron, right? And then you have like a couple of $100 million that you're gonna commit to put on this layer, then they'll do it. We don't have that sort of thing. So it seems, and to use our own stable coin is also a regulatory nightmare. We don't want to have something that might screw us unnecessarily. So the best idea would be to bridge existing stable coins from the Ethereum network, like USDC, USDT, or DAI or whatnot, into the Elysium tokenization layer. And there are several hacky ways that I've been actually talking to Receipt and a couple of other people around, like how to do it. None of them are really good. Some of them involve a lot of trust, and the ones that don't involve trust require a lot of fancy infrastructure to be set up, which would take away our development focus away from that. Now, I'm not so sure. I mean, like, there are other projects that do it, like Incognito and other stuff like that. That would be massive as well, but we have to decide what should our aim be. I think I would like to definitely deliver on the Elysium tokenization layer, and hopefully stuff like RenBridge will come along. But if we want to bridge something into our own tokenization layer, we have to have our own infrastructure to do that. And there are other coins that do that actually built into this. What was it called? There was this masternode coin that kind of did it. What was it, Receipt? What we were talking about? Do you remember?
Which one?
There was one that bridged the masternode stuff, using their masternodes to bridge over.
That was red, right?
Not Ren. It was done with their masternodes. It was done existing assets go. It's not a very
Uh,
big masternode coin.
Incognito?
No, not no.
Okay, I have no idea then. Sorry.
No, you were the one that told me to use this Remember, I told you about what do you think about this network, and you were like, doesn't it was done in a very inefficient way. Never
Yeah, I'm
mind.
drawing a blank. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. But basically, it would require quite a bit of development efforts that would take us away. So that's um that's something that we need to decide on. Right now, we have our hands full doing chain locks, doing Lelantas, doing maybe a prop power upgrade, instant transactions, and mobile wallets. I mean, that to me is the absolute priority right now before anything else. And if we had more development resources, I would do that, but it seems a bit jumping the gun. But I don't know. If we devote resources towards that at the cost of our core tech, we have to decide, right? And I just wanted to kind of let you know, like, these are the decisions that I have to make on a very regular basis, and they're not easy ones to talk about, especially when you have to decide how should I allocate resources, right? Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Yamoja Unicorn gets gambling license. Uh, okay. I guess we'll take a look and discuss a bit more on that. Yeah, I mean, the bridge to stablecoin is in our radar, and yeah, but okay, I think that actually this is actually off topic of the community stuff, but I guess what I want to do is, like, how can we craft plans to incentivize our community to be more vocal about our developments and stuff like that. I think that's a really important thing, and I guess this is something that we can't decide on the call, but I do want, like, increasing feedback from the community and how we could do this. Okay, let's talk a bit about development updates. These are quite interesting. Um, so recently, someone from Nero actually suggested, his name was Cargo Dog, that suggested some way to use, what was the thing? Suggested an improvement using Gray's code to improve Lelantis verification times. And we actually found a different way. Beam also uses this optimization that actually is much better than this like Grace code optimization, and actually offers a 55% improvement in verification time. This is really, really huge. Like, I don't know, it gets me really excited, but I don't know if people share it. So if you take a look, this is like absolute worst case scenario where the anonymity set is already almost full. Like at 65,000, a single proof takes about a second to verify. But once you batch it, each additional proof takes only 11 to 15 ms. It used to take about 30 ms, but now milliseconds, but now it's 11 to 50 milliseconds. And to just put that in context, Zcash is about 8 milliseconds. So if you take a look at this, like, it's really, really good. Like, if you see, if 11 to 15 milliseconds with a high anonymity set, that really puts us in terms of scalability of the proofs almost on the same level as Zcash without the trusted setup of fancy math. So this is a really huge upgrade. I have a little chart here that I created. You can see the old and new. As more and more get batch, you can see like it's a huge improvement, like more than a 55% improvement there. And this has actually already been implemented within the latest release. Um, we do have a flag to disable it for whatever reason, but this is what we have been working on a lot, and this really improves Lelantis verification time. And what that means is that in the future, we may potentially increase the anonymity set to maybe like 120,000. Who knows? We'll see what happens. In the emergency switch that we talked about, to be able to turn off certain features for a fixed period of time of 1 year, just to make sure that Lelantis matures as a technology, and that if anything bad happens, we can immediately turn it off. That's almost completed. We will be launching a PR on that soon. It's taken a bit longer than we like, because it's a bit more complex than we originally anticipated, but this will be in probably in the next update as well. We had to do a complete BIP 47 rewrite. That's actually progressing very well. BRB 47 is a receiver address privacy, and although we had kind of like a working version before, it wasn't to the to a level that we would want to release it in. So we are actually taking the time to do this rewrite, and have is almost like a better form of stealth addressing, because it can work with light wallets as well. So actually I should have wrote Elysium, not Exodus. I'm also getting confused. Elysium is actually almost done. Right now we're just writing some unit tests and having that. We haven't had a fixed release date. We still need the right documentation on that. The programmer that did it, Panu and Punta, they've moved on to new jobs, but they are completing the work. So that was slightly set back, but this is continuing and should be almost finished. It's just mainly documentation and testing that is remaining on that. The Electron wallet is actually something really nice. Later we'll probably just share a quick screen on this to show it. And the Electron wallet is like a fancy graphical version of the wallet. We've teased it a bit in previous updates, and it's almost completely rewritten. It's a lot more smooth, and we're just ironing a few little bugs more. And we do want it to be the default wallet soon, because first impressions matter. And I do think that the Qt wallet really looks like something from a garbage dump. So we have that done, and the GUI and a lot of the stuff was done by a receipts company from Arcadia, the design for it, but we're doing a lot of the back end development for that. We fixed the Electrum wallet for the Ledger, because there was an update that kind of broke Ledger functionality, and a mobile wallet. I think Zora is here. Zora, do you want to have a do you want to talk about that since you're here? Let's see. Don't know if he's actually listening in. So the Zoro's mobile wallet, with the designing the infrastructure, the whole kind of structure that's going to be set up, how the APIs should look like, and I'm probably due to have a meeting with him to get a full update on that. So we are looking to have our native wallet. We kind of got screwed over with the edge stuff, not intentionally, but because they were just changing the entire infrastructure and we took too long to complete that. But yeah, we are progressing, and that is one of our absolute priorities for next year. This is something that we really, really need. Usable, nice mobile wallets with Lelantis functionality. Zelcore actually said that they would be open to integrating our privacy features as well as Edge, as long as we can build an SDK around it. So we are being very careful of how we're designing the SDK, as we don't want to have a repeat of what happened to our Sigma wallet. So yeah. All right. Any any questions on these updates so far?
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Sorry, just turned on my microphone.
Yes.
uh,
Hi, Zara. Yeah. So this is Zara. He is the part of our Armenian team that's been recently tasked with helping us. They are a group of how many people you have there, Zara?
or at this moment,
Yeah.
five including me, but looks like we will grow.
Yes, and they've been tasked with working on the mobile wallet and stuff like that. And maybe you want to give a bit of an update of, yeah. You also want to talk about the swap functionality. Maybe you can.
Yeah. I want to tell that that was a nice addition to Electrum Wallet. That
Mhm,
now we have a coin swap functionality which Qt Wallet doesn't have, and I think that would be a nice feature to use.
mhm.
And regarding the mobile wallet, yeah, looks like we will have our own mobile wallet instead of relying on other company mobile wallets with full functionality, with native codes, with full speed. And yeah, it's in progress. Guys are working on core functionality at this moment. Um, Soon we can discuss together regarding which functionality to include there. And yeah, I'm exciting that
Yeah.
we will have our own mobile wallet.
So, just a quick update on the switch functionality. Basically, this is not like any sort of atomic swap type of thing. We are leveraging existing swap services that do not require KYC. There is a centralized component to it, that we do have a proxy server that kind of communicates with the wallet to the provider. We aren't retaining logs for a very long time. We only keeping like the basic system logs, and we should be clearing them like regularly. So there is an element of trust there, but the idea is that we want to make swapping within the wallet as easy as possible, and it's an optional feature. If you don't use it, then there's no issues. So this is a quick this is interesting thing that we have been thinking about. So we're using Switch Chain, which is a swap provider, and we do intend to add other switch providers as well. Now, we don't know how much people are going to use this functionality, but many other wallet providers do monetize this by adding a small fee on top of the existing exchange go. So, like for example, like maybe like a 0.2%, 0.3% fee, and whether you would want the team to have a swap fee that we as the development team that can earn, and that's an additional source of income, or maybe like we can tick it and say it's like, oh yeah, donate or don't donate. I'll have to speak to Zoro how to implement that. I'm not sure if that's possible, but it would be good to as an additional source of income rather than just development reward. Then who knows, if it becomes a significant amount of money, then we could maybe even reduce our development reward. But I kind of want like community feedback on this, whether you would be against the development team earning a small percentage of the swap feature, or should it be like at cost as just additional feature for the wallet, or I guess, or maybe making an optional donation amount. Does anyone have any feedback on that? Make it non-optional.
We are almost approaching the 1 hour mark.
Right. Yeah, that's fine. Let's start moving. 0.3% of small potatoes close was, and it helped things a bit. Okay, while waiting for things, I'll just move on because we are running short of time. In terms of research, we have been interested in implementing a type of stealth addressing within Lelantis. So right now, in the current form, or rather than the version 2 of Lelantis, you cannot view who has sent. I mean, like basically the sender is hidden, the amounts are hidden, but the receiver, you can see that this particular address has received something. You don't know what is received, whether it's 0.01 or like 100,000 coins, but you know it has received something. And you also don't know when it has sent out money again. So once it receives, you cannot tell when it's going to send out money again. So although as it is, it's quite okay because you can always give new addresses all the time, like in Bitcoin. There was some people see it as a drawback to not have this stealth addressing system where I can share a public address. And it's kind of like BIP 47, where when I send money to it, the receiver can reuse that address and post it, and people can't even see how many transactions has received. So this is something that we've been working on. We made some progress on that, but we don't. Even without it, the privacy is actually pretty good. But it is kind of like, if we can make it better, why not? So this is something we've been working on. We've also engaged another mathematician. His name is Blind Apple, and he was engaged to kind of familiarize. First of all, this is kind of like there's no determined research task yet. And the main objective is to get familiar with the Lelantis and related technologies. He does have a statistics background as well. And we maybe want to take, once he's familiar with the technology and how other stuff work, we may want to have an objective evaluation of okay, how private is Lelantis? Are there ways that we can implement it that make it more private, more on the implementation side of things? And we're excited to get started on this. This will be he will be working part time, and we probably right now he's like reading up on stuff. I do expect maybe something more deliverable like at the end of 2 or 3 months, because there is a lot of reading to do. But just want to let people know that we are doing this as well. Okay, this is a very important thing that I want to kind of talk about. We have actually ceased our market making program with Hummingbot, because when that price drop went down, we had to conserve our funding. Now, market making generally costs 4,000 to 5,000. Like using Hummingbot is 4,000 to 5,000 US dollars a month. And that's about the cost of a developer or so. And we stopped that, and we are seeing less liquidity on the market since we stopped it. And the other option would be to engage professional market makers that cost anywhere from 4,000 to 20,000 US dollars. And that's a more, so the difference between Hummingbot and something like a professional market maker. The professional market maker handles all of that. You provide inventory to them. That means you provide some Firo, you provide some Bitcoin, and then they will do the market making and monitor it and make sure that you don't lose too much money. The good ones, right? And the difference with Hummingbot is that instead of paying the market maker, we pay users to run this open source market bot, or any bots that they want to use. They connect it to the API, and they get rewards for providing liquidity onto the market. So this is more organic and more fair. There's no there's no like, oh, you are manipulating it, because it's we're just paying users to provide liquidity to the market, and it's worked quite well for us. And I don't know how people feel about this, but this is people can take a look at this link later. We are trying to think, okay, do we get another developer or do we invest in market making? And some people actually are saying that, no, you should keep your liquidity bad so that it's easy to pump. I don't know. Personally, I do think that it would be good to have improved liquidity just so that people that can buy and sell. And the good thing about paying this thing is that we don't have to provide our own inventory. Other people provide that inventory for us to earn those rewards. And it may result in bigger community participation. But I just want everyone's feedback on this. As you can see, $750 resulted. So weekly reward pool of $750, 750 times 4. That's about like $3,000 results in 3.9 million. And we have done experiments to show that, well, what happens if we increase that reward? The field order volume does tend to increase by a proportionate amount. But the last time that we did this, we did not get much internal community participation. They were mainly people from outside the community that did this, which is maybe that's what we need. But this was something that we had to cease for a short while. And we are thinking of re-engaging it. Like, should we get a new developer or should we improve our liquidity? And just want everyone's opinion on this. Okay, I'm going to move on and continue, but if anyone has any feedback on that, they can give it. Okay, I think this is the last stuff that we have. We recently completed Stakehound integration, so there's now a Stake Firo. So what Stake Firo is a wrapped version of Firo. Basically, there's a custodian that hosts Firo, institutional grade custodian, and they then issue an ERC20 token that is kind of like wrapped Bitcoin, right? And now you can do anything on Ethereum that an ERC20 token can do. Now, the unique thing about this Stakehound or the Stake Firo component is that it is not just backed by Firo, it's actually backed by Firo in masternodes. So when you buy masternodes in Firo, how to say, you will automatically get the rewards, of course, minus the cost of hosting and other sort of stuff. So I think the actual yield that you get back is, instead of 8%, maybe you get 6%. But the idea is that you can own fractional portions of a masternode without having to pool with other people. That's all done for you with, like, a trusted custodian. And this is a great way to improve liquidity of, or at least in theory, it should improve liquidity of Firo, because then now you can trade fractional amounts of Firo, and all that liquidity that was locked up in masternodes can be traded on stuff like Uniswap or Balancer and all this other stuff. And it's already on Uniswap. I will send the link later. It has a decent amount of liquidity. I think about $600,000 in liquidity. So if people don't really care about the privacy features and just want to earn a bit of the yield or something like that, then they can buy some stake Firo directly from Uniswap, or just go through the onboarding process. But generally, it's better to just buy it off the market, and it's quite good. So we have some integrations that are planning to integrate stake Firo, which would mean that a lot of this can, like, maybe loan platforms that you can use stake Firo as collateral for other sort of stuff. And I can't announce that until they're confirmed, but we're looking really positively to that. One of the remaining gaps is how do you bridge stake Firo back into native Firo? And currently, the method that does this is a bit cumbersome, because StakeHound requires KYC. You have to submit KYC details and to get the stake Firo, similar to Wrap Bitcoin, because of once you're a custodian, you need to be regulated. You need to do AML KYC. But if you have like something like Run Firo, which has been delayed, but hopefully they said Q1. Hopefully that isn't delayed any further. If we can build a bridge between the Ethereum version of Firo back into Firo, then this becomes like really, really attractive. And we are actively looking for ways or people to be able to do this in a very easy way. So yeah. Zelcore has recently integrated our masternodes within them. So there's a masternode monitor. I don't know whether muggers have given out all the little coupons that we gave, that they give like a prime feature for them. They're a nice team. They're really helpful. I love their wallet as well. Do check them out. And the last thing that I want to cover is that Komodo has invited us to be part of the Atomic DEX stress test. We are one of the supported assets on them, and they're trying to get engagement of community engagement to participate in this stress test. If we manage to get enough people to sign up on the forum, please just sign up. It'll be great. But I would recommend that you attend, not just sign up and not attend. But if you sign up, it will really, really help us, because if we meet the minimum threshold, we would have like a dedicated slot, 2 hours slot for us, where they'll be exchanging stake Firo. There'll be some rewards, some giveaways, and there'll be also coverage from media and stuff like that of this happening, and it'll be a good kind of cross seeding of community rather than just talking within our community. So I think there's more details Marcus is posting in Discord on how to participate in that, but please just sign up. You don't have to create a Komodo address straight away. You can just sign up, but it's recommended to create a Komodo address. Now, Atomic DEX does not require Komodo to work. It's actually an independent product that is developed by the Komodo team. It does use atomic swaps. So if it takes off, it'll be really good. So I think it'll be a great way to kind of counter, a lot of this centralized exchanges being very wary of, um, privacy coins, and this is one way to kind of deal with it. So we would really appreciate people's support to sign up for this. Oh no, you don't need any stake Firo. You don't need any money to participate in this Firo stress test. You will be airdrop stuff to play with. So yeah, don't have to worry on that. Yeah, you get free money. I think we're giving away like 500 USD worth of Firo, and then Komodo will be matching it, and if we want to increase that more, they will match it as well. So that's really cool of them. So please, please, please just sign up. It's free. Well, you can use a throwaway email address if you want. So okay, we've come to the end of our formal presentation. Is there anything that people would like to bring up or ask me any questions? Is open to the floor to discuss.
I have two things. One, I think I mentioned this in the chat earlier. The Arcadia Priva integration of Firo is almost done. Now we're just trying to figure out how to get Sigma working. We're
Sigma?
trying to decide whether we should wait for Lelantis or just integrate Sigma.
Just
We're leaning
integrate.
towards.
Yeah, but it's only like how close are you to completing it?
Sorry, I keep on muting myself for some reason. We're complete with integrating like regular Zcoin without any privacy tech. I think that we're probably going to be waiting until Lelantis and then integrating that on mobile
Mhm.
as the first thing. Outside of that, the second thing that I have that's kind of a fun thing as kind of an incentive to the community. If what's the current price of Firo right now? I don't even know.
I think 410.
410. If Firo hits $10, I will sponsor a Mia Khalifa ad for Firo.
Gosh, right. That'll be
It's
fun.
only $300, so might as well.
Very haram. Okay. Um. Yeah. The Atomic Dax did say that they would change the assets later for the stress test. They'll be still using the old branding, but they will change it later. Anyone has any other questions? Mm, Chatterbait is accepting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, why not? If they accept KMD, KMD doesn't have any other private. They actually disabled their privacy features to avoid them from getting delisted, which is a bit of a shame. But but yeah. Um, Firo, not XCC. Firo, get with the plan. All right. Any other questions? If I don't hear anything within the next 1 to 2 minutes, we'll wrap this up. Okay, Chatterbait. I never used that before. Why are all the adoption efforts surrounded with gambling and porn? Maybe that's the way, huh? We're in
Well,
integration with coin payments. We are integrated with coin payments. Yes. Sorry.
well, technology have been propelled by porn before.
Yeah, that's right. The internet is for porn. What is that? Oh yeah, Komodo address. Okay. Let me see. Is there anyone else? I guess that's the end. Does anyone have anything else? If not, we will wrap up this meeting. I will kind of be monitoring the chat for a while later. But I guess this wraps up this meeting then. Thank you so much for attending. We had quite a good turnout today and pretty surprised and really happy about that. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions. There'll be a recording of this later for transparency, and stay safe everyone then. Exiting this. And how do I end?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.